Happy Easter from Bloodbath and Beyond. Today we're reviewing Easter Bunny Bloodbath. He's not just hunting eggs, he's hunting you.
Brought to us by SRS Cinema, written and directed by Richard Mogg. This movie stars Shayan Bayat, Meghan Kinsley, and Travis Turner, otherwise known as Little T. This movie's about a boy who witnesses his sister get killed by an Easter bunny. Now 20 years later, that bunny's back to kill. So what did we like?
If you like very bad movies, then you may like this movie. Richard Mogg, we've seen one other movie from him, which was Massage Parlor of Death, and it was a blast.
The campy nature of this film is very evident from the start. Richard Mogg has a unique way of delivering practical kills in his movies, and this one didn't let us down.
Being that it is low budget, it's very well done for like the style of movie it is. I really like that it's shot really well. Like, we actually get some nice suspense build up when he's like slowly lowering the cameras. It's like really fake, but it's really well done.
And that's one thing to note about Richard Mogg and his movies. He has very little to work with, but they're always shot fairly well. Like, we're never taken back by the camera work or the shot types.
He's really good at not having really long still shots. He mixes in B-roll, different camera angles, so it really feels like high quality. He knows what he's doing when it comes to cinematography.
I actually really like the story in this film. I mean, it's really cheesy, and you look at the title like Easter Bunny Bloodbath, like, what kind of story is this gonna have? It wasn't the best, and it wasn't the most in-depth story that we could have had, but it was actually way better than I expected.
It was nice because they did give the red herring effect throughout the film, trying to figure out who the Easter Bunny really was. Was it the original Easter Bunny that we saw in the flashback, or is it just a brand new killer? So the guessing game was a nice touch.
Big fan of fly chicks?
No Easter Bunny movie is complete without them chicks.
Got some lesbians,
Definitely had lesbians.
got some slip and slide.
You kind of want that when you're going into a bloodbath sort of movie. Unfortunately, there is no nudity, however.
We can't forget the Mac Daddy of this film, Travis Turner, known as Little T.
He freestyled in this movie, and while he was freestyling, I was like, that seems like a legitimate freestyle. After the movie, we realized he's a rapper.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And you can find him on YouTube. I'll link to his channel right in that card, right above John's head. You check him out.
I like that he gave the killer its own beat. So every time the bunny rabbit showed up, we get the same track, and it was really creepy. So what didn't we like?
I would like to start this off with the pacing of the film. I wasn't a real huge fan of it, especially at the beginning. I actually almost passed out about 10 minutes in, because I was a little bored with it.
Like, it felt like a summertime chill-out drama. I didn't get the horror vibe until about halfway through.
This isn't necessarily a dislike, but it is something to note, and you will be driven mad by it the entire film. Lil T in this movie looks like an 8-year-old, and he's dating a 20-year-old in the movie. You guys can't kiss. And we found out he's actually like Colin's age.
His character is supposed to be like sweet and innocent. I get that, but he doesn't have to look like a child to be sweet and innocent.
Right, it's like somebody's like, hey, do you think my little brother can come along? Yeah, I guess is he free? Yeah. Can he freestyle? Yeah. Yup. Okay, he's in. Well, this movie did have some decent kills. I wished that the kills were a little bit better.
When he did try and show any type of impact or like blood splatter, I didn't like the fact that it was the very fake like CG blood on the lens. Like it was stuff just hitting the screen.
I think in certain scenes, Richard Mogg was a little inconsistent in his cinematography. For example, one of the kills where the bunny rabbit is just kind of stabbing repeatedly, it goes on for like good 30 seconds and just like blood squirting up, and it stood out in the film because there was no other scene like that. And so it was really campy and like really kind of overdone, and it didn't go with the rest of the kills.
He has learned since then how to do this better, so, you know, take this with a grain of salt.
Now it's time for our final thoughts and ratings.
Easter Bunny Bloodbath was a pretty decent, low-budget, micro-budget horror film. We had some pretty cool kills, though I wish they would have elaborated on them a little bit more and gave us some more of that cool practical bloodshed instead of using the visual effects that they did with the POV shots and the blood coming at the screen. But, you know, maybe that was a budget restriction. Richard Mogg has since moved on and done several other films that were much better than this, but I think this was still a pretty good start. So I'm gonna give this 3 mallard duck B-rolls out of 5.
This film is definitely gonna have a fan following if you like micro-budget, campy films. Richard Mogg has a great style and technique in recreating 80s horror films. This film did have its entertaining moments, and I really liked that the kills that he used were Easter themed, but we didn't actually get to see a lot of these kills, which is disappointing. I wasn't a big fan of the pacing, but the film does pick up halfway through, and I think you're really gonna like it. It's just one of those films that you are either gonna like or you're not gonna like just based on the style. So with that being said, I'm gonna give this film 2 pre-sex warm-ups out of 5.
I feel like Easter Bunny Bloodbath had a split personality. He was able to capture the teen spirit and enjoying the cottage life and just partying with your bros. And then he also captured horror and what it's like to just be massacred by a bunny rabbit. I know what he was trying to get at, but I feel like they didn't mix and he spent way too long on either side of it. The film had really great kills, but it just kind of went on too long and I didn't really enjoy the pacing. So I kind of got bored at certain points. It's great to see what Richard Mogg is doing and I'm glad that he's actually pulling this style of movie off because he's really good at it. So I'm glad to see that he started with this and he kept going. So with that said, I'm gonna have to give this film 2 little tea bags out of 5.
As always, thank you for watching. Happy Easter. And like this video. Comment below with your favorite Easter video. We did Bunny Man Massacre last year. We did this one this year. Have you guys seen Beaster Day? We almost did that one again this year. Let us know what you guys thought of that one. Talk about Easter films. We need to compile a list. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything Bloodbath and beyond. Happy Easter.